Ladies and gentlemen, the third part of my story, the story of the second sheikh. Let me begin by telling you, O Lord of the kings of Jinn, that these two dogs are my brothers and I am the third. When our father died and left us capital of 3,000 gold pieces, I opened a shop with my share, and my brother did the same. However, I had been in business just for a short time when my elder brother sold his stock for 1,000 dinars. And after buying equipment and merchandise, he journeyed to foreign lands. He had been gone with his caravan for one whole year. When one day I was sitting in my shop, a beggar stood before me asking for alms, and I said to him, "Go try somewhere else." In response, the beggar began weeping. "Have I changed so much that you don't recognize me anymore?" Then I looked at him more closely and I realized it was my brother. So I stood up, welcomed him, and after sitting him in my shop, I asked him what had happened. "Don't ask me," he replied. "My wealth is all gone, and so is my health." So I took him to the public bath, dressed him in a suit of my own, gave him a room in my house. Moreover, after looking more accounts of my stock in trade and my business profit, I found that my hard work had enabled me to earn 1,000 dinar while my principal amount to 2,000. So I shared the whole thing with him and said, "Just assume that you didn't make a journey abroad, but remained at home. There is no reason now for you to be dejected about your bad luck." He took the share gleefully and opened up his own shop. Things well off for some days, but soon my second brother, that dog over there, also set his heart on the traveling. He sold whatever goods and stock in trade that he had, and although we tried to prevent him from leaving, he would not listen to us. He equipped himself for the journey and joined a group of travelers. After an absence of 1 year, he came back to me just as my elder brother, and I said to him, "Didn't I try to dissuade you from traveling? Destiny decreed it this way." He wept and cried out, "Now I am a mere beggar without a penny to my name or shirt on my back." So I led him to the bath, dressed him in my own new cloth. Then I went with him to my shop, where I gave him something to eat and drink. Furthermore, I told him, "Brother, I generally draw up the accounts of my shop at the beginning of every year, and I intended to share the surplus with you." Thus, some time later, when I found a profit of 2,000 dinar, I praised the Lord and gave my brother one half and keep the other for myself. Thereupon he set up his own shop, and we lived peacefully for many days. After a while, however, my brother began to urge me to travel with him, but I refused and urged, "But did you too gain full of your voyage and would make me want to travel?" Since I would not listen to them, we each returned to our own shops, where we bought and sold as usual. They kept urging me to travel for a whole year, but I continued to refuse. Finally, after 6 years had passed, I consented and said, "All right, my brother, I shall be your companion and ready to travel. Now, let me see what money you intend to bring with me." I found, however, that they did not have anything, for they had squandered their fund on rich food, drink, and carnal pleasure. Still, I did not reproach them, far from it. Instead, I looked over my shop account once more, sold what goods and stock in trade were mine, and came out with a profit of 6,000 ducat, which I divided into half. After doing this, I went to my brother and said, "These 3,000 gold pieces are for me and you to conduct our trade during our travels. Let's bury the other 3,000 in the ground in case anything should happen to us. And if something does, each shall take 1,000 to open new shops." Since they both agreed, I give each one 1,000 gold pieces and kept the same sum for myself. Then we prepared some good for trading and hired a ship to carry our merchandise and proceed on our voyage. After a month at sea, we reached a city where we sold our goods, and for every piece of gold that we had invested, we gained 10. And when we were about to resume our voyage, we found a maiden on the seashore, clad in worn and ragged clothes. She kissed my hand and said, "Oh, master, are you a man of charity and kindness? If so, I am prepared to repay you for your aid. You may find me benevolent and a man of good works," I said, "but I don't want any return of my deeds." Then she said, "Please have me as your wife, oh master, and take me to your city, for I am giving myself to you. Be kind, for I am one of those whom charity and good works will not be lost. I can make you a fitting return for them, and I will not be ashamed for my condition." When I heard her words, my heart went out to her as though Allah had willed it. Therefore I took her, clothed her, gave her words. My heart went. Therefore I treated her with honor. So we continued our voyage, and I became more and more attached to her, so that I could not bear to be separated from her day or night. Indeed, I paid more attention to her than to my brothers, with the result that they grew apart from me, become jealous of my wealth and the large amount of merchandise that I had acquired. So they planned to murder me and seize my wealth, and Satan made this scene right in their eyes. They waited one night and found me sleeping by my wife's side, whereupon they carried us up to the deck of the ship and threw us overboard. My wife, awake, startled from her sleep, and immediately she changed into a genie, whereupon she lifted me up, carried me to an island, and disappeared for a short time. Then she returned in the morning. She said, "Here I am, your faithful slave, who has duly repaid you for your kindness. For I have saved you from death in the deep water, and I am a genie, and I first saw you. My heart went out to you by the will of the Lord, for I am a believer in Allah. So I went to you in the condition you saw me, and you married me. But I am angry at your brother, and I must certainly slay them." When I heard her story, I was surprised and thanked her for all she had done. But I said, "When it comes to slaying my brother, you must not do this." Then I told her the tale of our life from the beginning to the end. And on hearing it, she said, "Tonight I shall fly like a bird over their ship and sink it, causing them to die." By Allah, I responded, "Don't do this. Remember the proverb, whoever helps us evildoer should let the evildoer to his own evil deeds. Nothing can help them." The genie replied, "By Allah, I must slay them." I humbled myself before her and begged that she pardon them, whereupon she picked me up and flew away with me until she sat me down on the terrace of my own house. Then I took what I had hidden in my ground, brought new merchandise, greeted various people, and reopened the doors of my shop. When night came, I went home, and there I saw these two hounds tied up Upon seeing me, they arose, wind, and fawned upon me. Before I knew what was happening, my wife said, "These two dogs are your brothers." "Who has done this to them?" I asked. "I sent a message to my sister, and it was she who transformed them into dogs, and they will not be released from their present shape until 10 years have passed. You find me now, O genie, on my way to my wife's sister, because the time has come to release my brothers from their condition." I stopped at this place where I saw this young man who told me all that had occurred to me, and I decided not to leave here until I saw what would happen between you and him. Such is my tale. "This is certainly a remarkable story," said the genie. "Therefore I gave you a third of man's blood." Now the third sheikh, the master of the she-mule, approached the genie and said, "If I can't tell you a tale more wondrous than these two, will you grant me the remainder of merchant's blood?" "You have my word," the genie answered. Then the old man began. Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue to the third sheikh story, I will end it up now, and next time I will come with the story of the third sheikh. Thank you.